Good morning! It's 9 a.m. I know, gay people and an LGBTQ plus Kiki at 9 in the morning? Whose idea was this? That's why I'm still in bed. I'm FayWhat? And I'm gonna get your week started off right, baby. We have lots of fun things to talk about. It's gonna be a great week.
Gay boys, hashtag that girl. Sunbeams, drag queens, L-word. Is that girl the girl of all our dreams? She's everything that every girl should be. FayWhat, South Beach, hashtag that girl. Pride-filled, tea-dance, Wilton. Is that girl Latina, but she's universal too. If you find a girl to love, only one girl to love, then she'll be that girl too. That girl.
The FayWhat Show is America's first LGBTQ plus morning show, and we are live right now on Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, Amazon Fire Television, YouTube, and Facebook. I'm also on demand, baby. It's Monday, October 10th. Today, we celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day. So let's kiki about what's going on in the LGBTQ plus community. I have a sidekick joining me in bed for some conversation. What did you think I was thinking of? A gay boy in bed with me? What am I gonna do with that? I have no idea what to do with that. Anyway, our first segment is called Gay Boys Sleep Late. And this morning I'm joined by my gay guy pal, model, dancer, and burlesque performer, Damien Lenore. You can find him on Instagram at Return of Babylon. Good morning, Damien, and welcome back to FayWhat's bed. Where you been?
Good morning, Faye.
Listen, what did John Hayden actually do with you? Do you know that, I just came in and he was just in your side of the bed, just like that, all comfortable? I think he stole your pasties. And
they looked good on him.
Did they? I don't know if good would be the way that I would describe it. I also was like, hey, just get in bed naked. I think he stole one of your thongs.
I got plenty.
Really?
Good. That's all good.
Okay, the truth is that he stole two of your thongs because it took two of your thongs to fit him.
Oh.
John Hayden, we love you, Poppy. We really do. Damien, welcome back, honey. How you doing? How's everything? How are things?
Things are good.
Yeah?
Things are good. Busy and good.
I love your makeup.
Thank you.
It looks everything. I love it. Look
thing.
at you. You're going to be a busy boy this month, aren't you?
You know, it's spooky season.
This is like your favorite time of the year, like literally. I know that like October and Halloween is like gay Christmas, but for this goth kid, like this is like your time.
It's nice that I can do the same weird shit I always do, a little bit weirder, and people aren't gonna like crucify me for it. That's fierce.
It is.
I can just spit blood and whatever and just...
Spit blood. You hear
it's
that?
Halloween.
And that's it. It's just in the name of entertainment.
And
you know?
actual Halloween is my clean date, and I get 4 years.
Congratulations! What? Who gets sober?
Exciting.
Who gets sober on Halloween? Only you.
Oh, I went
really?
into the ER the night before in my Halloween costume, and the rest is history.
I love that. You know, it takes holidays sometimes for people to get sober, right?
Absolutely.
Because like mine is 11/28. So like I got sober. I started drinking on Thanksgiving. Can't really remember the next couple of days. I woke up in the hospital. I think I might want to get sober. That's kind of how it went down. And I'll have 8 years this November.
That's
so
amazing.
We are like
almost
two...
F-bombed right now. And I
You can, totally. We are two freaking miracles in bed right now.
That's a wonderful thing. There's a lot of clean time in this bed.
Right?
We love it.
So what were you doing when I came in bed? You were doing one of these exercise things. What is that? What is that?
Stretch out my clam strings, baby.
Your clam?
My hamstring.
Oh, because I was like, you have a clam too? I know that I have, but like, I was like, ew, you don't have a clam? How do you do that? Like that? And do you like point up your toes?
Well,
you have like ballerina legs. I have like noodle legs. Like, I don't want to.
You have great legs. Look at those tiny little ankles too. Go ahead.
Well, all right. Well, we'll show you some more exercises from Damien Lenore in the future for sure. Anyway, before we begin our Kiki, did you know that I have been nominated for Best TV Personality on South Florida's Gay News Best of Awards? Isn't that awesome?
Absolutely. Congratulations.
Thank you. I don't know. I think it might be a mistake, but I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay. I am in this award with like some people that I've looked up forever, like Craig Stevens of Channel 7, who I had like a gay boy crush on for a lot of years, you know? And like I'm in this category with him and I'm like, Yeah. But like, so whoever nominated, thank you so much for the nomination. And make sure that you vote today. You can vote from all your emails. That's not really cheating. And you can vote every single day.
That's awesome.
Right?
Okay.
I love it.
I'll be doing every morning.
Yes, sfgn.com/best of. And there you'll see your favorite restaurants in town. You'll see your favorite drag queens, your favorite performers, your favorite everything. So sfgn.com/best of and vote for me. Yay! Woohoo! All right. So there's a lot of interesting things going on this week in the LGBTQ plus community. Damien and Luna. Thank you. You know, you're the only girl that my wife doesn't matter if we make out. Because we actually make out like every... Okay. Can you buy me dinner first, though?
Oh.
No? Or a drink? Oh, no, I don't drink. Okay, hold on. Let's give Luna a sec. All right, my Luna. Lay down, my baby. I love her. All right, so, Damien, let's kiki on some of them right now.
Let's do it.
First, it's normally sad when you lose a friend, but recently one group of girls in LA threw a big party to celebrate the death of one of theirs. I know, it sounds kind of grim, but Nicole Maynard was the token straight girl of her social group. But after a bad breakup with her boyfriend, she decided she'd try the other side. After she realized she was more comfortable as a bisexual than straight, her friends bid goodbye, as in B-I, to her heterosexuality and threw a funeral for straight Nicole. What are we all talking about? What do you think? A little morbid, but...
I mean, what person doesn't want to be there for their own funeral?
Right? Right? Yeah, that's true. Like, just to be like a fly on the wall.
And just hear what everybody has to say.
And hear what everybody has to say.
Are they going to sit there and like smack talk her former
that straight Nicole was an asshole. Like that? Like, no?
We all knew.
We all knew she liked vagina. She just was kept it hidden, you know? Like, would you have a funeral for straight Brian?
No.
That was easy. You're like, yeah, I wouldn't.
I mean, I'd love to have like a secret funeral for me to hear what people had to say.
Yeah.
But like me now, you know, recently, my friend Nikki had at the OUTcast show, the theme for the day was Nikki's funeral. Because somebody went on her Wikipedia page and altered the Wikipedia page saying that she died, that she OD'd and all this stuff and whatever. And so rather than letting that like tear her up, she's like, you know what? Next week, OUTcast is going to be Nikki's funeral, and we're all going to sit here and we're all going to do funeral numbers, and we're going to talk about why bullying is bad and this and that and the other thing, and turned a really negative, awful thing into a
positive. Yeah, and I think that this girl's doing the same thing then. Like, you know, it's kind of like, hey, I'm able to know that this is my true authentic self now. I'm bi, and I want to say goodbye to that part of my life, and I want to have this event that includes my friends all saying goodbye to this past life person that, you know, I mean.
So it's a commemoration of a landmark in your lifetime.
Yeah. When I got my boobs replaced, I had a party to say goodbye to my old boobs.
That's awesome.
Right? I mean, why not? Bye, tatas. It was good. Next, last Monday, Kanye West debuted his new Jeezy Season 9 line at Paris Fashion Week. While no one seemed very excited about most of his looks, the internet has exploded over the shirts that he and his companion, right-wing political commentator Candace Owens, were wearing. The shirts had stark lettering that stated, "White Lives Matter." Yeah. The WLM group has long argued that Black Lives Matter is a scam and that they fought against LGBTQ plus rights and mixed race relationships. What are we all talking about?
And we're sure this was not like a photoshopped thing. This was like an actual...
Side voice, are we sure that this is fact and not like some weird Trump fake news crap?
It's really real.
It's really real, he says. And Side voice knows everything. Like, I asked him when I'm supposed to get my period next and he knew.
The omniscient Side voice. We love that.
He knows everything.
This is giving somebody whose career is circling the toilet drain and nobody gives a flying F about their fashion line anymore. So it's just an outrageous publicity stunt.
I was with you on that. I really thought that it was like somebody had like changed the lettering or something like that, you know?
As he showed it to me and I thought it was fake at first. I'm like...
Yeah. I mean, you know, Kanye West listen, mental health is so important, folks. I'm constantly telling you folks, me and Damien are always talking about mental health and how important it is to like just speak up and talk to someone. I really feel that just Kanye is just not on the right meds. He doesn't have the right people around him and he's spiraling and he does things like this to get some kind of weird attention and even sort of gets off on it.
But where are his publicists? Like, where are his people who are telling him, like, I mean, I guess whoever is helping him market himself is also of the belief that there's no such thing as bad publicity. Because, I mean, opinions aside about Kanye West, we are still sitting here talking about him.
Truth.
So,
Truth. But there was a time there, my God, Damien, there was a time there when I really thought he was the best rapper of all time. Like, the guy is a genius. Like, some of the stuff that he would come out with was just incredible. Okay, but this is like 10 years ago. I'm not saying like anything recent. He's been like a total nut job. Yeah. Kim Kardashians, it's her fault. That's what it is. It's Kim Kardashian. She turns everybody crazy. Except that Tommy guy, that he just always seemed crazy. He also looks like he doesn't smell, like he smells.
Well, the thing is, like, I can't stand arrogance. When people come out with an arrogant attitude, I don't care how good your music is or your art or whatever you're doing. Once you're arrogant like that and you start comparing yourself to Jesus and all this nonsense, I can't stand it. But this situation is giving, like, give me attention, buy my clothes. I don't care if it's MAGA people buying my clothes. It gives that. I don't care if it's racist people buying my clothes.
But Papi, you really think that MAGA people and racist people are going to go buy Kanye's clothes? That ain't going to happen. You remember when he was hanging out with President Trump, or ex-President Trump, like in his office with the MAGA hat and everything? I mean, the guy's lost his crap. I'll keep you in my prayers, KW. I'm just saying. Next, the editorial director of Advocate, Neil Broverman, and his husband, Robbie Pierce, made news at the beginning of the year when they and their kids were verbally attacked on a train. Well, recently, Robbie posted that he was at the playground with his son when a random child told him that gay people were the devil and that they were going to hell because God said so. He posted about the event on Twitter and said, quote, "I told him parents made up God to make their kids do what they want. His eyes got so big," end quote. What are we all talking about?
You know, I wish that would happen to me. Because I am the devil and I am going to hell. And I would tell that little kid that before I drop kicked him right over the bucket.
Okay, we don't condone abuse to kids unless they have smart mouths and their parents aren't around.
But it's like these religious nutcases spreading this garbage and like telling some little kid that so that some little kid can say it to like another kid on the playground. What here is the actual problem?
There's so many parts of it that are the actual problem.
And it's like there's a family with two dads minding their own business, and this little kid has to come up and start talking about the devil. Oh, gay people are the devil. Gay people, you're going to hell. Your family's going to hell. Work. I'll see you there.
I'll have a space for you right next to me. Right here.
Not even. They're not sitting with me. I'll be at the table.
Oh my God. Yeah, you can't sit with us. Hello, Mean Girls Forever. Next. Can mainstream video games become havens for queer players? I sure hope so. Many seem to think so, especially with this new Nintendo game, Splatoon 3. The game features creatures known as Inklings, squid-human hybrids who celebrate fashion in a frequently gender-bending way. The game is a colorful team paintball tournament, and players can post images and notes around the Inkling city. More and more, these images are embracements of LGBTQ+ and celebrations of diversity in a game that is literally about painting the world with the bright colors of the rainbow. What are we all talking about? That also sounds so cool.
That is really cool.
Splatoon. Did I say that right, side voice? Splatoon. And so this is the third one?
Yes.
And have they all been so inclusive?
Pretty much.
How cool is that? Like, so I'm thinking about that kid that maybe he's bullied at school, maybe doesn't know how to be their true, transparent self at home, at school or at home. Maybe they're not out to their parents, you know? And like, they don't live in such a gay-friendly place like South Florida that's also this small. Maybe they're in the middle of Wyoming or in the middle of Idaho, and they get to be themselves in this virtual reality, you know? I mean, that seems kind of cool.
Well, I mean, I know when I was younger and I was kind of figuring myself out when I was in like middle school and high school and stuff like that, and I was, you know, really depressed and confused about my sexuality and everything like that, I found a lot of comfort in the escapist world of video games. I used to play a lot of video games and just kind of like be by myself in my room, and I felt like, okay, this is the nice escape. And to be able to escape into something that's actually like affirming your truth like that, that's a really special thing.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, like I thought it was so cool, like when you got to make your own avatar, right? Because
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, because people would always, okay, it would be like what you wished you looked like, or maybe it would be what you look like, whatever. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Maybe it was a feminine, avatar. Like just it was your ability to just go all out, go crazy, and just be you in this alternate reality.
It's cool.
You know, and I would think that these people, I mean, like that these gamers would make friends with other people, you know, have some kind of a social network that you can also rely on, which is super important in our community. And not everybody has what we have down here in South Florida.
That's a fact.
Right? So look out for that game, for sure. Finally, October is LGBTQ plus History Month, and it was created in 1994 by Missouri teacher Rodney Wilson. In 2012, the Broward County, Florida School District became the first school in the country to celebrate the month. October was chosen because October 11th is the annual celebration of National Coming Out Day, where people celebrate their coming out stories and help others to come out. June Pride is great and all, but it's more important than ever to remember our history and help those who are trying to find safe spaces to come out. What are we all talking about? LGBTQ plus History Month.
You know, I didn't know that was this one.
Really? Well, look, you learned something here on the FayWhat show. We're always trying to educate.
Am I like a bad guy now?
No, of course not. Look, and we live in South Florida. We live somewhere where they're trying to erase us left and right.
Yeah.
So the fact that still nationally this is being looked at this way is so important. You know, here in South Florida, they don't want history teachers to talk about LGBTQ plus history, you know, and it's not LGBTQ plus history. It's just American history, just history. That's all it is. But the fact that we need 1 month to spotlight the fact that our history is also important, you know, it's kind of sucky, but also at the same time, it's like showing these straight people we're here. We're not going anywhere. Our history matters.
Well, a lot of history is really sucky. And that's why it's so important to know about history and where things came from so that you don't wind up
Doing it again.
or taking for granted the things that people before us had to go through.
Well, like Roe versus Wade, I mean, being overturned, we're going 3 steps back. Like I was telling a friend the other day, just joking around, like, hey, I soon might need a man to co-sign for me to have a freaking bank account, how things are going.
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild.
So the FayWhat show is part of one of the largest LGBTQ plus media companies in America. Hotspots magazine has been documenting the LGBTQ plus experience for 36 years, and Happening Out Television Network has been bringing you daily LGBTQ plus news, talk shows, and more for 4 years. In the same model of PBS and NPR, we are a nonprofit 501c3 organization whose mission is to educate and serve the LGBTQ plus community. And educating the LGBTQ plus community in Florida about what's going on in the area isn't always easy. Florida's presidential candidate, Ron DeSantis, calls it Don't Say Gay. Fox News and Tucker Carlson, well, calls it a secret gay agenda. We don't care what they think, so we're taking them both back. Let's play with our great South Florida events in our own, the gay agenda. First, I love going to the movies. I love it even more when I can support the LGBTQ plus community when I go. That's why I love the OUTshine LGBTQ plus Film Festival. The event starts this Thursday, the 13th, and runs through the 23rd. There are a lot of great in-person events and viewings, but if you don't live locally, there are also lots of virtual viewings available as well. Go to happeningout.com, select the gay agenda, and search OUTshine for more. What do we love about this?
Well, I love the movies.
Me too. Me
So-
too. And I love LGBTQ plus films. Like, I wish they were more mainstream. You know, I wish we got to, you know, Bros just came out a couple weeks back, and it wasn't so highly supported by our community, but it was so incredible. Like, it really was so incredible, Damien, to sit in a full theater full of gays, watching a well-produced, incredible movie on the big screen that depicted our world. You know, and OUTshine does this twice a year in down in Miami and in Broward. And the movies that they pick, I mean, they're serious about the movies they pick. I was talking to a friend of the show, Dina Mosquero, and he says that like they get like 3, 5, 1,000 submissions, you know, each year. And somebody needs to like go and sit and watch all those movies and decide which one's going to be in the film festival.
How do I get that job?
Right? Listen, Mr. Damien Lenore, Dino, you need an assistant? He can assist.
Absolutely.
Just say, he'll put the popcorn in your mouth.
I got lots of fans. If it gets too hot, I'll just fan you off and just sit and watch movies.
Make sure that you go and support the OUTshine Film Festival every year. Ladies, they also have a women's night. They're also going to have a really dope brunch at Bubbles and Pearls. Go check out all the events and be a part of it. And for folks that are not in South Florida, you can also watch the movies virtually from the comfort of your own home with your nearest pup. Yeah. Next, Judy Gold is one of the funniest ladies in comedy. That woman is hysterical. She's had stand-up specials on HBO, Comedy Central, and Logo. She's been an actress on TV shows on Hulu, Showtime, and Netflix. She's been on pretty much every talk show and has won awards for her off-Broadway comedy shows as well. As her writing on the Rosie O'Donnell show, she also got awards for that as well. So if you're ready for a lesbian who is sure to make you laugh, you need to see Judy Gold live at the Sunshine Cathedral Center for the Performing Arts on October 22nd. Go to happeningout.com and select the gay agenda and search Gold for more. What do we love about this?
Who doesn't love to laugh?
I don't think I've ever heard anybody literally say, I don't like to laugh.
Yeah.
I don't like comedy. Have you ever heard somebody say that? Like, I mean, I don't like bad comedy, of course. But, you know, Judy Gold, she's just a badass and she's been around forever. And it's one of those things that I'm going to get crap for this, but a lot of lesbian comics don't make me laugh.
A lot of comics, period, don't make me laugh.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And why do you think that is?
I
Your
don't
funny
know.
bone is broken?
It
Or
could be it. I don't know. It's just like I have like a really weird sense of humor, but when I think something's funny,
then you're like,
I'm sent. I'm like,
you're spiraling to laughterhood and there's no bringing you back.
it's like chasing that. Like let's find that. Yeah. So if it's good, I like it.
Yeah.
Even if it's bad, I like it. But there's nothing worse than watching somebody bomb. You ever see somebody really bomb?
Yeah, I've bombed. Like myself,
no,
listen, there is nothing harder than
Great.
stand-up comedy, okay? Folks, if you want to change your career path, do not make it to become a stand-up comedian. It is not easy.
No.
It is not easy. I have, like, killed it and had an incredible set, and I've also bombed. Like, it's really not an easy thing.
What do you even do? I would just crawl.
No,
right
you
out of
have
my
to
skin.
finish the set, Papi. You have to finish it, and it's not easy. Now, Miss Gold is not going to have any issues with that because that bitch is funny, and she's been doing it forever. And one of the good things about her sets is that she doesn't let it get dry, pun intended. Like she like spices it up every time like she's doing something, you know?
Okay.
And when someone is in comedy for decades, like she has, sometimes it's like, oh, again?
Yeah.
You know, like no offense, Carlos Mencia. He has literally done the same set for about 15 years. Yeah, it's like, okay, got it. I got it. It's funny. Give me something more. Give me something more. Make sure you go get tickets to support this incredible lesbian comedian. It's going to be a lot of fun. Next, Halloween is almost here, but it's not always about scares. A classic way to celebrate is to go to a showing of Rocky Horror Picture Show. The cult film frequently has a live cast reenacting scenes during the movie, and one local group that has been doing that for years is the Faithful Handymen. I love their name. Twice a month, their group brings the film to life at the classic Gateway Theater in Fort Lauderdale. If you're not sure what props to bring for the audience participation, they even sell survival kits at the door. The next showing is a special Halloween extravaganza on October 29th at 11:45 p.m. Go to happeningout.com, select the gay agenda, and search Rocky for more. What do we love about this?
I mean, I love the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
That is like right in your wheelbarrow.
Oh, absolutely. And that movie, I mean, my mom gave me the VHS tape when I was like 15. And
I love your mom. Your mom is like the coolest supporter ever.
Yeah, totally. It totally helped me come out. I was like, oh, I see myself.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
I mean, it took me and all of my friends to go see the Broadway play when I was like 15. We all went dressed up and everything like that.
How cool.
And that movie is really special and relevant for a lot of people, and it's really cool to see that like that came out in 75.
I was gonna say it's old and people are still like, you know, and these things around Halloween, they sell out. They're like jam-packed theaters for these events. They do them like right before midnight all the time, and this actual group does it twice a month, and people go and love this stuff. Now, how you were telling me that you didn't know that it was LGBTQ plus History Month today, and I didn't take away your gay card. I didn't even watch Rocky Horror until about 8 years ago.
That's okay.
So don't take my gay card away.
I won't.
I also was drunk for about 20 years, so that's usually my excuse. But
We should go see this.
But I saw it. No, well, here, so we went to, it was at the Gateway, and a friend of mine put a curly wig on me and a bustier and some fishnet stockings and did my makeup all white and weird. And I had no idea who she was dressing me as until I got there. And then I saw another bunch of very tall people in curly haired and bustiers, and I was Frankfurter, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, see,
Absolutely.
I know. But like
I
there was,
love-
but I mean, that is like cult classic to the fullest.
Iconic.
Like iconic. Like people go with different things and they say different wording like throughout the movie and all that kind of stuff. I'm not that privy to all that information, but that was a lot of fun.
And it's a community, you know? It's even if you go and it's just like a bunch of strangers, there's still a sense of community in that theater while that movie is going on.
Yeah, you're all together, right? Like nothing is going on outside that theater. For
No.
those 2 hours, you are in that weird spooky house with the weird spooky music and all of that.
Amazing, 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 amazing.
Go give yourself a Halloween present. Next, Halloween parties are always fun, especially when it's the LGBTQ plus community throwing them. One of South Florida's most important political advocacy groups, SAVE, is known for their legendary Halloween balls. This year's theme for the MasQUEERade Ball is Heroes and Villains. The party is being held at the Penthouse Riverside Wharf on October 28th, starting at 8 p.m. Don't miss the epic battle and super-powered performances by the incredible Miss TP Lords and company, plus electrifying music by DJs Mike Trotter and Dare Electric. Go to happeningout.com, select the gay agenda, and search SAVE for more. What do we love about this?
I mean, who doesn't love a masquerade ball? And this is for a good cause.
For sure. And God, and everything that SAVE does. I mean, you know, the elections are right around the corner, and those folks are the ones on the weekends when it's 100 degrees, knocking on doors, getting people to sign petitions, making sure that people are registered to vote. I mean, they are like just so busy, yet they still will find the time to celebrate, you know, gay Christmas and Halloween, you know, and villains and superheroes. So, I mean, everybody's got a vast array of people that they can dress up as. Superman and Wonder Woman are like old news. There's a lot more now that you can dress up. You know, Side Voice is always telling me about the She-Hulk show that I need to watch. Maybe I could dress up as She-Hulk, you know, or like, not just the normal, because you know that most people there are going to dress up as the usual Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
Get the stupid little curl in the front of your head with a cape, you know? And like, you probably had to do it.
The Superman? I am just not into superheroes or comic books, but I do love a masquerade party. If I was going to do it, I'd be Boy, Poison Ivy.
But you see, okay, but when it comes to the LGBTQ plus community, it's not just, okay, throw on a cape and go to this party. Like, we got to elevate it a little, you know? So I love that. Like, okay, that's Poison Ivy, right? But it will be this dressed as Poison Ivy. I think that's like so badass, you know? And it's Halloween, so there's going to be a lot going on. Maybe wear something that, like, you can take off the cape and then just go to another party after.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Get those creative juices
flowing.
Get
those creative juices flowing, yeah. Because, I mean, Halloween is when we really get to see, like, okay, like, pop culture and stuff like that, like, put into a costume, you know? And nobody does that better than our community, for sure. Finally, sometimes the older members of our community get left behind when it comes to social events, and I don't know why. Well, on November 1st, Jewish community service LGBTQ plus Lambda Living is having a social outing at Zoo Miami. Transportation is provided by the JCS office at 10:30 a.m. and the day includes a fully narrated tour, wildlife presentations, and a whole lot more. So if you're an LGBTQ plus senior, or if you just love animals, this is a great social way to meet new friends. Go to happeningout.com, select the gay agenda, and search Lambda Living for more. What do we love about this? I love everything about this.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I love the zoo. I love animals. And
do you love older people?
I mean, I have friends that are older people, and
did he just say that? He just said I have friends that have older people. We came from older people. We love older people.
We're on our way to be older people.
Speak for yourself. I got a lot of Botox and a lot of fillers. I am never, ever getting old.
But, you know, like, that is part of our community that tends to be, like, swept under the carpet when it comes to a lot of things.
Unless you have money.
And even so.
Unless you have money.
Yeah, I mean...
If you're an older dude and you've got money, you've got the little boys and girls around you, so you're good. But if you don't, and you still want to, like, get out and do some social stuff, this is a great way to do that. Like, there's no reason to go, okay, I'm old, I'm going to stay home and not do anything else.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, this community is huge, vibrant, and it shouldn't just be for the 20-something-year-olds. It's not.
Yeah.
You know, so I love this. Oh, and big shout out going out to Miss Cindy Brown, that she's over there at Lambda Living. We love you, doll. She's like an icon. You can see rich content on all these events at happeningout.com and click the gay agenda in the menu. Well, that's what we will all be talking about this week and the events that we want to attend. I got to thank my friend, my man, Mr. Damien Lenore. What are you going to be doing this week? Anything fun?
I'm going to be getting ready for the Black Market Halloween event. which I'm trying to put together some like.
How do you?
3 acts, so I have to come up with. I have 2 pinned down, and there's a third one that I have to polish up an act and costume and stuff. But
How do you outdo the last Black Market event? Like that was insane, crazy, like out of control. I mean, how do you elevate that for Halloween?
It's you have to top yourself.
You have to top yourself. You get it, boys? No, okay.
But you know, I didn't do fire in the last one, so shocker, I'm going to do fire in this one.
Oh, because all your wounds have healed up, so it's time to do more fire.
Oh, there'll be more wounds between now and then, I'm sure.
We're living for it.
I have this new trick where you use fuel to light your torches, right? And if you get the fuel on your hand, you can transfer the fire with your hand to light the other torch.
I love that.
So every time.
So it kind of looks like Fantasia, like Mickey Mouse.
Yeah. So you have to kind of get used to like.
Not burning your hands.
Not burning your hands and stuff like that. You know, and I got there. I'm not burning my hands anymore.
Hands are very important in the lesbian world, so I would be like protecting your hands at all costs. But in gay boy world, it might not be that important. So maybe he'll be okay. Please safeguard your hands.
But, you know.
They're more into feet. Gay boys are more into feet.
So I'll just have to, you know.
I think you'll figure out a way. I got to thank Damien for getting up early for the FayWhat show. And remember, follow him on Instagram at Return of Babylon. All his events are on there. Incredible pictures that you'll probably steal are on there as well. So make sure that you follow him on Instagram at Return of Babylon. I know how hard it is for you to wake up in the morning because gay boys sleep late. I love you.
I love you.
Thank you, Mr. Lenore. So did you know that Happening Out Television Network studios are located at Sunshine Cathedral Square? That also houses Sunshine Cathedral, the world's largest queer church located in Fort Lauderdale. We broadcast their Sunday service every week to more than 30,000 at 10:30 a.m.
Hi, I'm Chris Caputo, City Commissioner with Wilton Manors, and Sunshine Cathedral is my queer church.
This is the amazing Chef Josie. She's a Bravo top chef and the master of the popular champagne and oyster celebration restaurant, Bubbles and Pearls, in the heart of the famous Wilton Drive. She's also known by her alter ego, DJ Lady Snack Daddy. Welcome to the FayWhat show. Woo, 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 woo.
I always knew I'd get in bed with you.
So, fun fact, right? This is the first time that you're in bed on the FayWhat show, okay? I wanted to get you in bed the first time that I interviewed you, but the first time I interviewed you was in my house, and I thought my wife would have a problem with it.
Oh, well, maybe if we like told her,
or invited her, right? Or prepped her.
You know I'm down for those kind of things.
I know.
So I'm down.
I mean, there's no better place for an interview than in bed in the morning in your pajamas. Oh yeah, let's talk about these pants.
Yeah.
I love this.
Thank you.
You're like on brand wherever you go. These are champagne bottles, right?
Champagne bottles and champagne flutes and little ice cubes and look at that. You see that? That's the little cork exploding. Isn't that so cute?
That is so cute.
But I do this because it's like, look, man, I got to remind myself, even subtle reminders that life is to be celebrated. And every moment while I'm sleeping, when I wake up, I definitely celebrate in the morning because I'm like, woo, I'm
another day.
So
what do you think about my sailor outfit?
I mean, you're sexy as hell. So,
thank you. So I'm trying to figure out what to wear for Halloween. So I figured I'd like just test out some stuff in bed. It's cool. It works, right?
Yeah. So is that typically how you like work it out? You do
little roles. Yes, role play. I'm so into that. Like I love that. Usually the dominant role play, but it's
Okay. Well, I'm in bed with the wrong woman then, okay? I mean, but I am kind of switchy. I ain't gonna lie. But this here, I love it because typically you see these sailor suits and they're like white and blue but I like the gold.
I like this, right, with the blue and the gold, and also
that's a heart.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Were you trying to touch my titty?
Oh, maybe.
Anywho, so I gotta tell you, Miss Josie, I love you.
I love you.
I really do. So, it's funny because I saw you on Top Chef and, you're hot. So you became a lesbian, like real quick. And then the fact that you can freaking cook your ass off with sprinkles on top, so fast forward, I see you outside of Cubbyhole in New York, about 2010, 2011, something like that, right? And I go up to you and act like I knew you. I was still heavily drinking, right? So I went up to you and act like I knew you. You didn't even make me feel like I was crazy. You took my hand back and were like, "Oh, nice to see you."
Yeah, you were hot. I mean, you're still hot. So I was like, who's this hot girl coming up to me? I was drinking a little too, So I'm like, okay, you're a fan? Cool.
Right? And I'm like, I'm from Miami. And you're like, oh, Miami. And I was like, okay, so, then fast forward 2020, we're on the same show together here on this network.
I know, it's so funny.
On Queer News Tonight or on It's Happening Out, one of the shows that we did together. And if you want to look up older episodes to see us on there, go ahead. Maybe not. Don't look us up because I was doing really bad back then.
Oh.
Anyway, and instantly we connected. Instantly, or at least I felt the connection from my end.
Too.
Why do you think that is?
I think because you and I are both like very bold women, and it's not typical when very strong women can share the same space. And I always felt with you that we were mirroring each other, that we were reflecting our light. And I saw your light right away. Aww. And your energy. And I look, I'm attracted to energy. And I think that you and I, we have a similar energy, and we're both hungry, and we're both like Sagittarius.
Yes. Look that up. That means a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah. And then, we're both Sag, and we're both fun and fun loving, and we love animals, and we had a lot of things in common. We come from similar, past, with this whole South Beach time. And we know a lot of the same people, and it just made sense that, we would connect like that.
It does make sense to me and you because you have an open heart. But the thing is, I've encountered this, and I know that you've had to encounter this too. Women have a tendency to be catty. Women have a tendency to push each other down. I'm going to push you down to elevate myself up. And the vibe that I got from you from freaking day one was, I'm elevating myself. You want to come along? I got you. And that was just like, she wants to take me along? Like what? And that's you.
Well, I mean, look, man, it's lonely at the top. You always hear that. I don't need to figure it out and get there and be like, oh yeah, I've heard that my entire life. It's lonely at the top, and just get there and go, oh wow, it's lonely here. No, I don't need to. My dad says that there's 2 ways that you can learn and gain wisdom, acquire wisdom in your life. One way is the hard way, and one way is the easy way, right? And so the hard way obviously is doing it yourself and going out there and experiencing everything firsthand. And then the smart way is listening to your elders, listening to people who care about you, listening to the facts and data, and listening to life.
Listening to life. People are so stuck in their egos and refuse to let somebody correct them.
Right.
You know what I mean? We're constantly learning, we're constantly evolving. Tell me what I'm doing wrong, or tell me what I'm doing wrong with our relationship, and let's try to fix things instead of talking shit behind somebody's back.
Well, listen, you just touched on a real serious point there. Like, I want people in my life who are not only going to reflect my light, but are also going to be my reflection when it comes to the things that are not working, and who have the courage and the bravery to be a stand for me in my life. I don't want folks, I don't need friends to boost my ego. Trust, I got a rap sheet. I got a rap sheet.
You got social media. If you look at social media, everybody's loving on this girl.
Yeah, I mean, and not always, but I don't need help in that department, right? I'm accomplished. I've seen a lot of things in my day, and I'm so grateful for it all. I don't need that. I need people who are going to be real with me, who are going to stand up to me when they see me make choices that are not good for me. I need my friends to be my sound guards and to be honest,
Yeah.
because you can go out there into the world and there's a lot of, you know, BSers,
Of
right?
course, people blowing smoke up your butt.
Yeah,
and not in a good way.
Yeah, and I sniff those guys out real quick because you know I don't need any of
The
that.
opportunists and the people just talking crap. Yeah. Look, so Josie, the women in our community, in the LGBTQ plus community, are usually less represented, you know, as like running shit, as like running things, making decisions, etc. And you, since the moment I met you, you're constantly breaking these ceilings. Like, oh, women don't do this, bah! Women don't do that, bah! You know, Bubbles and Pearls, Champagne and Oyster Bar, women owned and mostly operated, right, by women in the heart of Wilton Drive. The blood, sweat, and tears, and literally you told me there's been blood, right?
There's been blood, there's been a lot of sweat, and there's been more tears than I care to admit. I'm not gonna lie.
All worth it? All worth it for Bubbles and Pearls?
You know, I'm gonna give a shout out to Carol Moran.
9F.
Yeah, apartment 9F. You know, first off, like her and Nancy, they're the reason why we had an opportunity to even step into this community and open up this little dream that was living in my heart, you know. So I always get a little choked up about that because love those ladies big time. And they've always been supportive of our business. But one of the things, you know, she just posted the other day in social media and said something like, you know, restaurant business is hard and we sometimes like want to just throw our hands up and close the doors and like live an easy life, you know, but it's days like this. And she had a post of like a guest, one of her guests who sent them a you know, a greeting card or a
thank you card,
you know, and you know, that is exactly why, because there are so many guests who have had our backs, who have been so loyal to us, who continue to support us through pandemic, through hurricanes, through street projects, through, you know what I mean? And the list keeps growing. But if it weren't for our community, we wouldn't be here still. And so there's never a day that goes by that I don't remember that and I don't keep that right here in the front of my mind.
And you never want to forget that, do you?
No. And it's just like, you know, there's people who come in and they tell you, Chef, oh my God, you know, I love this food so much. You know, my wife and I drive an hour and a half to come here. And, you know, you guys are the best. And, you know, just like those things, like those words of encouragement. And trust me, we have guests who keep us honest and they go, Josie, you know, you weren't here the other day, but I just want to let you know that we came in and this was not.
It wasn't as good as it was this time, or something was off. There was not enough kale.
Yeah. And you want to know what's so funny about that is I tell them, they probably think that I'm going to be like, oh, I only want to hear the good stuff. But no, I want my guests to keep me honest. Keep me honest, man. Don't let me slip up. Don't let me slip up. To my friends, to my family, don't let me slip up. You see me off track, you better come and go,
bring me back.
Yeah, kick me, you know? Do something, like say something, because trust that I'm going to do the same for you.
For you, of course, of course. Well, so I love Bubbles and Pearls. And, you know, something that you had touched on about a client that, a customer that came and drove miles, you know, I always thought that going to BP, I was going to see a bunch of gay people all the time, right? And that's so not the case. Like constantly, I'll see like an older Black couple hanging out there, and they're like, "Yeah, you know, we come here to vacation once a year. We always come here, you know, or we'll be a family with kids." And I'm like, "What are you guys doing here?" And they're like, "Oh, we're here from here, blah blah blah." You know what I mean? Like you get a little bit of everything in there, and I love the diversity. So, okay, more of breaking the ceiling. Running for mayor. Running for mayor of Wilton. Was that exhausting? It looked exhausting. We were friends already, and it looked exhausting and stressful.
Yeah, I mean, that was my first swing at politics. And I mean, I had been involved in politics in a different kind of way as an activist.
And an advocate, of course.
And an advocate, you know, along the way. And what I have realized is when I was younger, and maybe this is a really good message for all the young activists who are out there, you know, at some point you have to take the march on the streets and you have to connect that to parallel action and make it multi-pronged so that you have partnerships on the legislative level, and you have organizers, and then you have your activists on the streets. So you have three attacks. You have the visibility that it's creating in the media and in the communities when you have, you know, droves of people who show up and marching for a cause. Then you have those organizers that are keeping it all together and keeping it safe and the messaging clear and concise, and the next march planned and that stuff. But that person right there, that organizer, is really important to coordinate also with the legislative branch. And those legislators are the people, they are our allies. Those are the people who are working hard to move this very slow bureaucratic needle forward.
Yeah. It's scary times. We'll get into more of that coming up too. Breaking the ceiling with your voice, being an advocate for our community, and the climate that we're in right now, when you are screaming about reproductive rights, because I've seen you screaming about reproductive rights, or I've seen you screaming about how important it is for our allies, you know, to be part of this journey with us. Do you think that people are listening? Do you think that people know how important this coming up election is to us?
Oh man, you know, I wish I could say yes. Everybody
I wish you could say yes too, girl.
I wish I could say yes. But I think that you and I have both seen, you know, I think people are exhausted still from COVID. I see it in the workplace
and from Trump,
the workforce,
from
Trump, and just from all of the stuff, the constant attack on our community, and people are frustrated that they feel like nothing is getting done that can protect us and, you know, hear our voices, right? And that is like one of the biggest techniques in disenfranchising an entire community. Is doing exactly that. And because that will be the product of you thinking the frustration, oh, nothing's getting done, oh this, oh that, nothing's getting done, no one is hearing us, why do I put my energy into this, blah blah blah. We have to quiet those voices in our heads and remember that, look, man, there were people in our LGBTQ plus community who fought for our rights here, right? The ones that we have now. And this next generation, we are the stewards of our LGBTQ plus community. There has to be a few of us who step in there, and there are many of us. So, you know, I'm not singling myself out. You're in that crew, and there's so many people who are doing the good work for our community. But they need support. And that's from their partners, their neighbors, their coworkers, their community. And we really have to quiet that voice that says no one hears us, that nothing's getting done. And we have to believe. We have to believe again. We have to believe in that hope that this will stop. And we have to think about someone other than ourselves. We have to be selfless in this and think outward, you know, outwardly focused, and think about that next generation of LGBTQ plus people, human beings, who are going, if this is the fight they're bringing right now, imagine what's going to happen in the future when you add technology to that, and this messaging that is being sent out and viral. You know, this is the time, and I think it's a renaissance time for our community to really reinvent itself and hunker down and get smart about our attacks. And that's why I ran for mayor. One of those was representation. We need representation at the tables, and not just at the tables in our community boards. We need representation open out in the chambers.
Yeah, for sure. Will you run again?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I totally expected like don't know. I love that. Thank you, because we need that. Josie, you're all about like positivity and self-love, spirituality. Have you always been like that? Like, what kind of work did you have to do on yourself to be at this level where you're at? I mean, like, you're in a place where I strive to be, that balance, you know, that balance. And I know that every day it's not balanced, girl. I know, I hear you. But for the most part, whatever you do to get your chi in place, you do. And all of a sudden you're like, no, that shit ain't gonna touch me. I'm good.
Yeah, well, okay. You want to unwrap this one? Okay. Hey, listen, I mean, I'm not going to go through my entire life story, but when I was younger, just like many young people, I was in that space of challenge, right? Because I haven't met a young person really who doesn't want to argue with their parents, who think that their parents are smarter than them. Of course not. When we're younger, we think we're invincible.
We know everything.
We know everything. Our parents know nothing. Okay, so, but it's also, I think, in my opinion, a reflection of my parents. My parents were very strong, bold people. They had a lot of attitude. They had a lot of, and
it reminds me of somebody.
Yeah, and I was like, well, what did you expect? When you brought me into the world, and then I was, I say was very smart. I mean, I was way smarter back then, before the years of alcohol and lots of drugs and, all that fun stuff. But back then, I was super smart. I was testing, into advanced classes and all that fun stuff. And so I was a thinker, right? So I thought deeply about so many things. And I think that depth scared everybody in my life. And
didn't scare you?
No, I just kept going deeper. I just kept going deeper. I'm like, so where's that? And where does that lead me? And now where does that lead me? I read a lot of books. I listened to a lot of music. I didn't know exactly what it was I wanted to do. But I also struggled with my sexuality because I grew up in the church, and you hear every day. I mean, I have this one-on-one relationship with God, and I was, born into baptized into a Baptist church. So, Jesus is the Son of Man, and that's what we do, you know. And then I went to youth services every Friday night, when all the other kids were doing other things. I was at church, you know. So I used to go to church like 3 times a week. And then when I was kind of coming to terms with my sexuality,
like questioning
it, because I was crushing on girls, and I'm like, this does not make sense. I'm like,
this girl at church is hot.
Yeah, I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna get struck right now where I'm standing. And I just remember, like, I couldn't wrap my head around it, and I just couldn't get how am I going to be forgiven for being gay? And then I started to look at church in a different way. And I started to look at church like, how arrogant of you, the preacher, of you, the congregation, to think that you can say what God wants.
Yeah.
And that's one of my biggest problems with religion now. Not to go there, but we can do that some other time. But
God doesn't make any mistakes.
Yeah, I'm like, exactly. So if God doesn't make any mistakes, God, God is the loving God, and all of these different things. I thought to myself, I'm like, so why does he hate me? Why are you preaching that in church? So I started to separate from church through that and my own discovery. I started skipping school. I started leaving home because my parents had me like jailed for most of my life. And I was grounded for stupid things, like for instance, waking up in the morning. And I hated waking up in the morning. My dad would come in, and I lived in Hialeah. Hialeah.
Yep.
And in Hialeah back in the day, they had these closets that were these metal closets, and he would just come in and goes, he was in the army, and he'd go, ba, 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 ba. And it was like that metal rattle, rattle, rattle.
Oh my
and
God.
he'd go, wake up, it's time to get up. All right, let's go, let's go, let's go. And
like
I'm
you were in the military.
I was like, I'd open up one eye and I'd go, oh my God.
Dad, is this necessary?
Yeah. And then he'd jump in the shower, and you'd hear him in the shower going, woo, 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 woo. And it's because he was taking cold showers. That was his vibe,
Wow.
And then I knew I had about 15 more minutes, right? And then he'd come in, and if I wasn't awake and starting and getting ready and doing all that
He'd
stuff.
do it again.
No, he would come in, grab my leg, and start shaking my leg and getting up. So now, if you know anyone who's ever been in bed with me, okay, if we fall asleep here, just don't wake me up like that, all right?
Okay.
It's traumatizing for me.
People knock me out and shit.
Yeah, but then, after those moments, I ended up running away from home. And this is all coming out of my book, so preview. And the stories that happened there, I got involved in drugs, and, I was having a hard time as a young person.
Trying to find your place, trying to see if your journey was.
I had a lot of
where it
anger
had to be.
because I had colleges, offering me scholarships to play volleyball, and my whole family had just fallen apart. And, fast forward, I ended up in New York City. The moment I was able to say, okay, that's it. I was 21 years old. And I was leaving South Beach, and I said, if you can make it in the big city, you can make it anywhere, right? Yep. So I said, that's it, Josie, you go up there. What do you want to do? And I said, I wanted to be I wanted to be an entertainer. I used to have a little card that had just my signature, Josie, in red on a silver card. And it said entertainer.
Dope.
Promoter.
I could get you into the club.
Yeah. And so, I just started that journey there. And I have to say, I think that a lot of the time that I was in church, that really nurtured that spirit of mine. I've been told that since I was a little girl, I always had this kind of special little energy, and they're like, you've always been so sweet. You've always been so sweet. And I do realize that as a young adult into a late teen into a young adult, I definitely went through some dark days, but I'm very grateful for that light, I guess, that everyone saw in me. I'm very grateful for the people who saw that light in me when I didn't see it in myself. Yeah. And, so what happens, they say in church that God will always send those angels to you, and so I have to say that I've had many angels show up along the way. Then when I got older and I came down here, I will say probably about 8 years ago, around 8 or 9 years ago, I did a program, a personal growth program called Gratitude.
Okay. Wow, what a great name.
Yeah, and it was 3 parts, and it was personal discovery and all this stuff. And it had taken what I had been discovering on my own, sitting down in Dalai Lama circles in Northern Florida, working with different youth fellowships, going and sitting down with sustainability councils, and learning a new way to think and live, and reading on Pema Chodron, and doing all my meditation and getting into that. And then when I came and did this program in Gratitude, they were talking my same language, and I was like, all right,
I've arrived.
Yeah.
Where were you 10 years ago? No.
Yeah, it confirmed that I was on the right path in my own self-discovery, personal discovery. Here I am. And so I was embraced by this community. I did a lot of deep searching and healing on myself. And in that, it was never my intention ever in my past to hurt anyone. I'm human.
Of course.
So I had to drop the shame of those moments. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
And I had to forgive myself on a deep level. Forgive myself for simply being human.
For being you, Mama. Listen, I truly believe that everybody is a reason, season, or lifetime. You ever heard of that?
Yeah.
With your relationships? Have you folks heard of that? And it's just so spot on, because it's a reason. Maybe you met somebody because they were supposed to help you get that dream job. Or maybe they were supposed to help you meet your wife or something like that. You know what I mean? A season. You work with someone, and during the time that you work with them, you guys are cool. But as soon as you finish that job, it kind of fizzles out. But they were there for what you needed them to be. And a lifetime is a lifetime, And sometimes we feel bad when I hate to say outgrow, because that's such an ugly word,
Yeah.
But sometimes everything has an expiration, like old milk.
Yeah.
Okay, so speaking about some of these angels that came into your life, all right? You're married to the lovely Miss Marcy.
Oh, yeah. She's definitely one of them.
Oh, I know
she's one of my forever angels.
Right? She's one forever angel.
Yeah.
So how long now have you guys been together?
Well, we've been together about 7.5 years. almost 8 years.
Wow. So you got here and then half a year later, Marcy got you?
Yes. Yeah, she did. I
love
was here for a year. So I guess the gratitude was 9 years ago and Marcy and I were 8 years ago.
Got it. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. So you work together with the restaurant and a million other projects as well.
Yeah.
You know, you love your boo, don't you?
Oh, I love my boo. Yeah. I
And
mean,
what-
I don't know how she loves me as much as she does, but I think I think she's obsessed with me. I mean, she says so every single day. She goes, she'll send me text message. I love you, baby. I'm so obsessed with you.
Oh my God, I love that. Who doesn't want to get a text like that
I
from someone
know.
you're married to? She's not even courting you anymore.
Yeah.
Like you got the ring on it. When did you know that she was going to be your wife? At what moment?
You know, it took a minute because I'm a hard nut to crack.
Well, you're also a free spirit when it comes to, you know, relationships and having a good time and making sure that everybody is on the same page, you know?
Yeah. We were together for 4 years before, and then I was coaching a team of about 50 people, and I had realized that it had come to a moment where I needed to like pull the trigger on Marcy, you know, like what are you gonna do with this girl? You either keep her or you let her go.
Mm-hmm.
I was like 3.5 years into it, and I'm real bad with time frames. I swear, if it wasn't for Facebook, I wouldn't even know when I was like
When you were anywhere.
Yeah,
That's where I was last year.
because I live in the moment, so I'm not like living in the past and like, you know, doing all that stuff. But so it was about 3.5 years, and I said, well, you know, I'm either gonna let her go or I'm gonna invest, you know. And I'm like, well, what do you think about marriage? You know, I'm having this conversation with myself, not with Marcy. I'm like, you know, like, okay.
I'm like, you told her that? No, like Josie's in the mirror going, so what do you think about that?
You know, I need to know. And then, you know, there were some things about like kids, like where did she stand on having children? Where is she about, say, having multiple intimate partners, you know, because I told her that I have never been a one person
Monogamous person.
Yeah, I'm not a monogamous person, and it's not because I can't be, but it doesn't work for me.
Mm-hmm.
Any monogamous relationships I've had, it just hasn't worked.
Do you feel suffocated? Have you felt suffocated in those monogamous relationships that you've had?
Yes, yeah. Because I don't want to lie.
No.
And I don't think, and honestly, this is what it is. I think that we don't own each other. When you're in a relationship, every single day, it's a choice. When I wake up in the morning next to you, I choose you. When I go to sleep at night, I choose you. And then on top of that, like, you don't have to cheat on me. You don't have to resent me 10 years down the road. You don't have to regret that you were in this relation 10 years. You don't have to see somebody that you're attracted to and go, because in my opinion, that's just what it is, you know? It also takes a huge amount of weight, I think, off of an expectation, an obligation, and all those things that create resentment in relationships.
Yes, so true.
I want to create a space where my partners feel free. And you know what? Usually when you tell somebody that they can be with whoever they want, there's like rules about it, how it happens. But you can be with, they don't want to be with anybody else. You know what I mean?
Once they got the open pass, they're like, I know.
Yeah, reverse psychology or something, you know? But it's just good. And it's funny too for me, you know, it's like, even though I have the green light, I don't go and like run green lights all day because I am happy. I'm happy. That's like for that moment where I meet somebody, but I also am under no, delusion that any one person can be 100% everything to each other. Yeah. That's a lot of pressure, man.
It is a lot of pressure. You know, that whole, like, remember Jerry Maguire, you complete me.
Yeah.
Fuck that bullshit, can you complete me? I was complete when I found my wife. You were complete. And together we make a power couple of completeness.
Yeah. and that's the thing too, because you know that. That's exactly what happens. We go and we're like, go find someone who completes you. No, that's the worst advice anyone anyone could give you.
Yes,
Don't
exactly.
go complete yourself and then go and like, be open to the right person coming into your life. Like that's, yeah.
Completely. So you're pretty open with your relationship, like you just shared. But I've also seen you at like different events. Are you a member of the leather community or the kink community?
Yeah. I love the leather community. I go to fetish parties probably every month, and anytime there's a big leather party, I love to be there.
I love it.
I love it. Look, I'm not ashamed of sexuality. I'm not ashamed of kink.
Is there a difference between fetish, like the fetish community and the kink community? Is it the same?
It's intertwined.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
it's intertwined. And, fetish, listen, man, fetish could be you want to worship my feet, A fetish could be you like dressing like a child, which is not my fetish, but, you like to dress like a child.
People who dress like furries, right? Isn't that something?
Yeah, there's little pets. You can be a lot like my wife. She just has this, oh my God.
She wore this leather thing the other day with like a thing here, and I was like, "Girl, you looking hot as hell."
Well, she's a pink poodle when she does puppy play, and so she has a pink poodle hat, mask, and it's hilarious. Like, I mean, I love it. That's not like my thing. That's more like her thing, and then I go and take her out to socialize, and whatever. It's fun. Yeah, it's fun. It's like spice it up.
And it's a welcoming community. Like I'm constantly sitting here telling folks that, like, I was kind of like intimidated, by the leather and, the faces. And like one of my good friends, Elimination Onyx, right? You see him, you saw him in a freaking alleyway with his leather and he looks like this. You're like, F that, I'm walking the other way.
Yeah.
But he's the sweetest guy in the whole entire world.
Actually, Elimination and we run into each other at these fetish parties all the time. And it's fun because, look, man, you have to express yourself. And where do you get to express yourself in the real world when the world and society is trying to become this puritanical version of society? Like, sex is not a bad thing. And how you have sex is that's your business. Nobody else's business, There's a show that I watch, Billions, and in there, like one of the main actors, Paul Giamatti, he was running for office, and they caught him that he likes this BDSM lifestyle. He likes to get his ass beat, you know what I mean? And the sadomasochistic kind of like approach to things. They try to ruin his life. Why? Because he likes pain.
Because he likes something different. Yeah. He likes something different.
So we tend to have a problem with things we don't understand. And and look, just because you're into fetish or kink or leather or any of that doesn't mean that there's a spectrum. There's like stuff that I won't do. I don't do. And there's this
that you might do 3 times a week.
Yeah, there's a spectrum, and it's for you. For me, it's like a very honest way of connecting, and it's a very open way, and it's very free. Because you talk about it, what you're interested in. And then you're like, hey, you want to try that? Okay, let's do that. And so I'll tell you right now, my life and my sex life with my wife is never boring.
Never boring.
Yeah.
Never. And that's why you're going to stay happy.
Yeah.
Like there's
I'll be 80 with my flogger. Trust.
Wow. Just you're vegan, right?
I'm plant-based. My wife is vegan.
Okay, but you were vegan for a little while, right? And how did that go? What did you do it because Marcy was doing it, or was it because you didn't want to kill animals, or what was the reason behind it for you?
Yeah, so me being vegan was not about animals. It wasn't about Marcy. It was about health. Okay. So there's plenty of facts and data that support anyone who's interested in learning more about vegan and plant-based lifestyles. When you add more vegetables, whole grains, fruits to your diet, and that makes up the majority or all of your diet, you're going to see drastic improvements to your health. If you suffer from diabetes, if you suffer from heart disease, if you suffer from, you name it, okay?
which comes with a little bit of extra weight, all those ailments.
Oh, yeah.
Instantly. Heart, high blood pressure.
Exactly. And so I was having a little challenge with my heart, and I just needed to make a conscious choice. And, you know, animal proteins, our body has a harder time processing and digesting.
For sure.
But not only that, it also lets off certain acids in your body, okay, that you know, create an acidic environment. And when you have an acidic environment in your body, that is breeding ground for disease. And so that was my reason to do it. And also I needed to lose some weight. And trust, all those extra calories you're taking from eating that delicious ribeye, I'm telling you, man, you save yourself thousands and thousands of calories. And so I was just being super mindful of that. Marcy's still vegan. I'm plant-based now because I was, like I said, I didn't do it for
a life change.
Yeah. You know, I just wanted to be healthier. Right.
Yeah.
And
eating cleaner makes sex better too, doesn't it?
Girl.
Right? You were talking about the ribeye, the off the chain.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That thing is delicious.
16 ounces.
That is delicious. Have you ever been to Bubbles and Pros? Yes, they have oysters. Yes, they have some vegan options. We have to talk about that. That's funny. Bubbles and Pros, and they have the off the chain ribeye that is voted as a finalist in this year's SFGN's Best Of, right? Woohoo! And you've won in the past. This is my first time being even a finalist.
I know, man. My favorite, what is it?
Local TV personality.
Oh, I thought it was local celebrity, but anyways.
It should be next year.
Yeah, well, I voted for you anyways. I don't know what your category. Remember, I have a bad memory, so.
Oh my God! But how was your first win when it came to SFGN's Best Of? Because this is not your first. And side note. For this year's, you're voted like in a million times. You're not a vegan restaurant, but you're voted for best vegan. You're voted for your ribeye, which again, oxymoron. Do you see that, right? You're voted for best chef, which you've won in the past also. I mean, you're all over that. Like, how was the first time that you won that?
Well, it was just cute, you know what I mean? Because I'm like, yeah, that's right. You know, the community supports us. They believe in us. And like, that's fun, you know? And it also was an acknowledgement after, oh my God, some challenging first couple of years, even though we were busy all the time. I had partners that weren't so good for us. And, you know, there were a lot of things that I was learning about owning a business.
As you went.
And we were busy and we were busy. And there were so many times I was in the alley crying, like, I can't do this again. And I felt like I was working 80 hours a week. And it was just like, oh my God, I can't do this. And then we hear that. And I was like, oh my God, thank God.
You know? Like a validation, right?
Yeah, it was a validation, you know? And I was like, no, Josie, you got, so it fueled the fire, you know what I mean?
It gave you that oomph. Right?
Yeah, that little like spark.
Yeah, like you were gonna keep going, but it kind of like puts a little fire in your ass. Kind of like I'm on the right path.
People see me. People see me.
You love me. You really love me.
Thank you. Yeah.
Make sure you go to sfgn.com/best of and make sure that you vote for Josie. Make sure that you vote for me. Make sure you vote for me twice. Make sure you open up another.
Every single day you can do it.
Every single day, and you can open up a new email address and do it again.
Yeah.
Just say. What do you think? What do you think about the media these days? You recently had a run-in with somebody that had wrote about you 10 years ago and then brought back the shit from 10 years ago. Are you okay to talk about that?
Hell yeah.
So what happened?
Well, listen, man, people, you know, those like armchair critics, okay? Those are, people have look, there's something going on with journalists, okay? If you're in journalism because you want to attack people's life and write things that are untrue and you want to have your opinion about things, you know, I guess we live in a free country, so have at it. But don't be pointing fingers at someone like me and say that I'm one of the top 10 assholes of Top Chef, okay? Sorry, can I? Yeah.
No, you can curse all you want.
I mean, that's what it said.
No, but really, that was the freaking title of the story.
Yeah, you know, and so that's the story. And then I I get here, they're like, oh, and that, I don't know, wacko or something like that. And I go, listen, back in the day, I used to go, well, at least they're talking about me, you know? But now I'm just like, bro, that's 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Why are you perpetuating a story that is so far from the truth?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you continuing to attack my character and attack my craft? Why are you attacking me personally? Who are you to me? What did I do to you?
Yeah.
Like, let's figure this out, because first off, I don't even think I know you. And maybe that's my bad mistake. I don't even know. But how can you say those things about me? Like, how can you say that? And even though I know those things aren't true, it tags and it pokes at unhealed wounds.
Of course.
You get what I mean?
Yes,
and,
of
and
course.
if I weren't who I am now, they would get a different response from me. You get what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I just respond with like, listen, man, you know, get a life, bro, you know, and if you want to know the full story, hit me up.
Exactly.
Because I don't think you know, really care about that. You just want to, like, that's so lazy. If you ask me as a journalist, that's lazy. You're like, hey, let me just grab this, or let me just do this, and boom. And we see that happening. It's because people are selling sex, drugs, rock and roll, selling gossip, selling drama,
selling negativity.
Selling negativity.
Yep.
So why aren't we taking our energies and putting it into highlighting what is working in the world, the people who are pushing this forward, that keeping this world spinning, the hope stories, the love stories.
Because those stories take more time, honey. And like you said, this writer is a piece of crap that is lazy and just sat there and went, let me grab something from 10 years ago, you know? A true journalist does not put their own opinion in it. It's telling the story, right?
Yeah.
Where is Josie now? Is she still the asshole that I thought she was back then?
Yeah, that would be,
like that would be a better story. Let me go find out. You know?
Hey, and listen, I don't deny that maybe I was an asshole back then.
It was 10 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
We evolved.
Yeah, we evolved. I hope so. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, you know, we see it in the media all the time. Everyone's always attacking each other's characters.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's called slander. That's called, you know, you can sue someone for libel and slander. And so it's like
defamation of character.
Yeah, you know, I'm a lot smarter now. And like I said, I have taken my fight from the street and into the courtroom. I don't play anyways that way anymore. And it's forget about doing things the right way. I'm doing it the white way. I'm a brown girl, man. I've been paying attention. I know how this works.
We gotta learn from the white people. We gotta be like the Four Agreements, Teflon. Let the shit just fall right off you.
Yeah, bye. See it.
So here on the FayWhat show, we play this game, and then it's called Say What with FayWhat. And basically, it's like the OR game, okay? It's like a lightning round, and I'll tell you two things, and you have to pick one of the two things as fast as possible. And it's a great way for our viewers to just learn something new about Chef Josie that they probably wouldn't know.
Oh,
dope.
Okay.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Kale or spinach?
Spinach.
Au jus or gravy?
Au jus.
New Orleans or New York?
New Orleans.
Japan or France?
Oh, France.
Stranger Things or Umbrella Academy?
Stranger Things.
Queer as Folk or Just Like That?
What is Just Like That?
And Just Like That. The Sex and the City spinoff.
Oh, Sex and the City.
Yeah. Oh, wow. RuPaul's Drag Race US or RuPaul's Drag Race Canada?
US.
Rihanna or Jennifer Lopez?
Ooh, that's a hard one. I don't know.
It's a lightning round, Josie.
I don't know. That one is stuck. I got struck by the lightning. I don't know.
Hot brown. Who do you pick?
All right, J-Lo.
Little Nas X or Elton John?
Elton.
What's more fun, Stonewall Pride or Wicked Manners?
Stonewall Pride.
Eminem or Biggie Smalls?
Eminem or Biggie Smalls? Oof. Another one.
I love the things that like get her, right?
Yeah.
Like some are just like, that's easy. But then you talk about un rapero from the 90s. And it's like, wait a minute.
Biggie.
Lauren Hill or Lawrence Fishburne?
Oh, Lauryn Hill.
Lil Kim or Foxy Brown? That's a hard one.
That is
That's a hard one for my 90s rap and hip hop folks. You know that's a hard one.
I'm gonna go with Lil Kim.
Goodfellas or Casino?
Goodfellas.
Superman or Batman?
Superman.
A harness or a whip?
Harness.
Kardashians or the Real Housewives?
Kardashians.
RuPaul or Snooki on the new Cheez-Its box?
Snooki.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Purple or red?
Red.
Tulips or roses?
Roses.
Pig dance or exotica?
Pig dance.
Yeah! Thank you for playing Say What with FayWhat. This Say What with FayWhat was sponsored by Shut the Hell Up Gum. When you have a friend and she's about to tell your wife about your sad piece, you stick a piece of Shut the Hell Up Gum and you are good. You like that?
Yeah.
All right. Josie, what's next for you, Mama? I mean, what's on your bucket list that like, maybe it's not in the works right now, but before you leave this plateau, before you transition off this universe, before you die, you know, you're going to get done.
Yeah, so, well, I just enrolled in DJ school because my homegirl.
You're a DJ.
I know, right? That's funny.
She's already a good DJ. I don't understand.
Yeah, well, so that's exactly it. But I'm a good DJ, but I'm not a master DJ. And anything I do, I want to be a master at it. And, you know, my homegirl, Liza,
I love that.
and this was the tattoo I had for my little patico. And really because of her, you know, I'm in this music game right now. And I've always loved music my entire life. But this is my next move into, so before I die in this life, I'm going to DJ a big, huge music festival.
Nice.
Okay. I'm going to have a thriving DJ career as well. Because I'll just put that on there. I will have a traveling cooking show. Okay.
I love it. Love it.
You know, in this life, there's a few other things. I'm going to travel some more to a few more destinations that I have. I mean, I'm going to travel a lot because I'm going to be on that show. I'm going to be doing that show. And you're
going to get your books done?
Yeah, I'm going to be writing
I think you got a couple books in you, girl.
Yeah,
like
after
sure.
DJ school, because like I said, you know, you can be a pretty good DJ, but I need to learn how all this.
Well, you're kind of a perfectionist, Mama. You're like you're anal, like when it comes to that in a good way, right? Yeah. Like, you know, I feel that like you want to be as good in your DJ world as you are in your cooking world. Yeah. And like, wow. You know what I mean? You're up here when it comes to that. And I see that coming up with it because music is a part of you. If you go into Bubbles and Pearls, it's an experience. You're going to get dope ass food, but you're also going to like walk away with, I got to add that song to my playlist. Yeah. I haven't heard that song in forever, you know?
A lot of people Shazam us.
Really goes hand in hand.
But then probably lastly, you know, I'm going to do something that I have studied for. I'm certified in, and that's my transformational training, my results coaching, my mindfulness coaching.
Love that.
And I created a workshop that I call Cut the BS.
Love it.
Okay. And it is my no hold bar approach to getting rid of the things in our lives that are not working for us. And I'm hoping that with this formula that I created from my own life, it came from my own life, trust me, I have now, I have figured out a way to define BS in our lives, identify it. I have figured out a way to quantify it.
Love it.
Okay. Then I figured out a process in which to let it go. And a big part of that is getting angry about it because I want to invite people into a space to let that emotion out of our bodies, because I know for my own experience, I was that guy who had a lot of anger inside of me. And anger management is not just the only way to do it. Mm-hmm. There are processes, cathartic processes that we can go through and do that help you release that energy that you hold in your body.
That BS.
That BS that creates. And what I do is I let them see exactly how much of their time, resources, energy, all of that good stuff that they've been depositing into the BS Bank of America for a long time. So I'm super excited to get that out, but after DJ school. So I'll be in DJ school for about a month, and then I'm going to start the book, and I'll be promoting the Cut the BS. Will you come to my class?
Of course, you're a busy boss bitch.
Well,
like
because you're gonna be a part of my beta team.
No, I would love to. I would love to. It's like when I tried to like go to like Tony Robbins, right? And a lot of it was kind of like I couldn't really process a lot of it, right? Like the intentions were there. I was like, okay, I get this. I like your way better. I'm all about that. I love that. And you're going to accomplish everything that you just said.
Oh, yeah.
All on a Sunday or some shit. Because, like, that's how you are, overachiever. Chef Josie, thank you so much for being on the FayWhat show, Mama. You know that I love you to pieces. You're my sister. And I'm so blessed to have you in my life. And you just, I feed off you. Give me some of that energy.
Yes.
Make sure you follow Chef Josie on all social media. Also, her alter ego, Lady Snack Daddy. Make sure that you also follow Bubbles and Pearls on all social media outlets as well. Go get yourself some champagne and oysters. Nobody does it better than Bubbles and Pearls for sure. So thank you for shining so bright. I love you so much.
I love you so much. Tell your wife, don't worry about me. But I will cuddle you.
She should worry about you. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Chris Caputo, City Commissioner with Wilton Manors, and Sunshine Cathedral is my queer church.
At the FayWhat show, we want to introduce you to interesting people that are important to our LGBTQ plus community. This is the amazing Chef Josie. She's a Bravo top chef and the master of the popular champagne and oyster celebration restaurant, Bubbles and Pearls, in the heart of the famous Wilton Drive. She's also known by her alter ego, DJ Lady Snack Daddy. Welcome to the FayWhat show. Woo, 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 woo.
I always knew I'd get in bed with you.
So, fun fact, right? This is the first time that you're in bed on the FayWhat show, okay? I wanted to get you in bed the first time that I interviewed you, but the first time I interviewed you was in my house, and I thought my wife would have a problem with it.
Oh, well, maybe if we like told her,
or invited her, right? Or prepped her.
And you know I'm down for those kind of things.
I know.
So that's down.
I mean, there's no better place for an interview than in bed in the morning in your pajamas. Oh yeah, let's talk about these pants.
Yeah.
I love this.
Thank you.
You're like on brand wherever you go. These are champagne bottles, right?
Champagne bottles and champagne flutes and little ice cubes and look at that. You see that? That's the little cork exploding. Isn't that so cute?
That is so cute.
But I do this because it's like, look, man, I got to remind myself, even subtle reminders that life is to be celebrated. And every moment while I'm sleeping, when I wake up, I definitely celebrate in the morning because I'm like, woo, I'm
another day.
So
what do you think about my sailor outfit?
I mean, you're sexy as hell. So
thank you. I'm trying to figure out what to wear for Halloween. So I figured I'd like just test out some stuff in bed. It's cool. It works, right?
Yeah. So is that typically how you like work it out? You do
the roles, yes, role play. I'm so into that. Like I love that. Usually the dominant role play, but it's
okay. Well, I'm in bed with the wrong woman then, okay? But I am kind of switchy. I ain't gonna lie. But this here, I love it because typically you see these sailor suits and they're like white and blue but I like the gold.
I like this, right? With the blue and the gold, and also
that's a heart.
Yeah. Yeah. Were you trying to touch my titty?
Well, maybe.
Anywho, so I gotta tell you, Miss Josie, I love you.
I love you.
I really do. So, it's funny because I saw you on Top Chef and, you're hot. So you became a lesbian like real quick. And then the fact that like, you can freaking cook your ass off with sprinkles on top, so fast forward, I see you outside of Cubbyhole in New York about 2010, 2011, something like that, right? And I go up to you and act like I knew you. I was still heavily drinking, right? So I went up to you and act like I knew you. You didn't even make me feel like I was crazy. You like took my hand back and were like, "Oh, nice to see you."
Yeah, you were hot. That's right. I mean, you're still hot. So I was like, who's this hot girl coming up to me? I was drinking a little too, So I'm like, okay, you're a fan? Cool.
Right? And I'm like, I'm from Miami. And you're like, oh, Miami. And I was like, okay. birthday, you know. So, you know, then fast forward 2020, we're on the same show together here on this network.
I know, it's so funny.
On Queer News Tonight or on It's Happening Out, one of the shows that we did together. And if you want to look up older episodes to see us on there, go ahead. Maybe not. Don't look us up because I was doing really bad back then.
Oh.
Anyway, and instantly we connected. Instantly, or at least I felt the connection from my end.
Too.
Why do you think that is?
I think because you and I are both like very bold women, and it's not typical when very strong women can share the same space. And I always felt with you that we were mirroring each other, that we were reflecting, like, you know, our light. And I saw your light right away. Aww. And your energy. And I look, I'm attracted to energy. And I think that you and I, we have a similar energy, and we're both hungry, and we're both like Sagittarius.
Yeah, look that up. That means a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah, and then, you know, we're both Sag, and we're both fun and fun loving, and we love animals, and we have a lot of things in common. We come from similar, you know, past, you know, this whole South Beach time, and we know a lot of the same people, and it just made sense that you know, we would connect like that.
It does make sense to me and you because you have an open heart. But the thing is, you know, I've encountered this, and I know that you've had to encounter this too. Women have a tendency to be catty. Women have a tendency to push each other down. I'm going to push you down to elevate myself up. And the vibe that I got from you from freaking day one was, I'm elevating myself. You want to come along? I got you. And that was just like, she wants to take me along? Like, like what? And that's you.
Well, I mean, look, man, it's lonely at the top. You know, you always hear that. I don't need to figure it out and get there and be like, oh yeah, you know, I've heard that my entire life. It's lonely at the top, and just get there and go, oh wow, it's lonely here. You know, no, I don't need to. You know, my dad says that there's 2 ways that you can learn and gain wisdom, acquire wisdom in your life. One way is the hard way, and one way is the easy way, right? And so the hard way obviously is doing it yourself and going out there and experiencing everything firsthand. And then the smart way is listening to your
Rainbows, gay boys, hashtag that girl, sunbeams, drag queens, L-word, is that girl, the girl of all our dreams. She's everything that every girl should be. Aqua, South Beach, hashtag that girl, pride-filled, tea-dance, Wilton, is that girl, Latina, but she's you.
So, did you enjoy the show? I know you did, so make sure to click subscribe so you won't miss any of the events, news, or interviews right here on the FayWhat show. Ring the bell at the bottom of the screen, right there, so you'll be alerted every time we're live. You can also click on the Happening Out Television Network logo, so you can see all of the shows on the most diverse LGBTQ+ media network. Find out just what we're doing to bring the L and the G together right here on the FayWhat show. Get the week started with me.